Welcome to the Loveland Report and the LoanArranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the LoanArranger, giving you all of your Central Florida real estate news. We don't have to pay celebrities to tell you how great we are.
No, we don't.
We've been doing this for years and years and
we
years.
can tell each other how great we are.
Exactly. And meanwhile, we are still selling homes and writing mortgages. So,
yes, we are.
But this is really interesting, Bruce. Inventory comes out. We get great numbers from the Orlando Regional Realtor Association. Inventory jumped up. Now, this report only goes back about 18 months, but inventory jumped last month in May, up from April, jumped up to 3,800 homes. That was like a big jump. That was like almost
44%.
Yeah, up. Now, we just went from 3,800 homes to 5,400 homes.
Holy moly.
Oh, my God, it's a bubble. It's going to burst. Now, here's the interesting part. Sales are not down that much. They're down by, we still sold almost 4,000 homes, which is about our average for the year. Usually,
what was the sales back in, say, March or April?
March or April, there was, let's see here, about 3,000 sales is like our yearly average. Number of sales closed, 3,800.
So we went from 3,800
the number
to
of sales,
4,400.
Actually, the sales have been right at 3,800 for the past 3 months.
Okay.
And then January, or let's see, March was big. Before that, it was lower. So our average every month is about 3,000 to 4,000 is what it runs throughout the year, depending on time of year. School.
And right
now we just did another 3,800 last month. Now this is what's interesting: all those homes for sale. So the inventory jumped up. I've listed a bunch. I take a couple listings a week at least, and talk to a lot of home sellers. But what I'm looking at, when I used to go check their market analysis a year ago, there'd be one listing active and 10 pending. They just sold like within a week. I'm seeing 10 listings that have all been on the market for 30 to 45 days. But here's what's interesting. Their prices are about 10% above where they should be. I'm an expert pricer. I've been doing this for a long time. I can look at your house.
So you think people are still pricing too high?
They're going too high. So the market is turning, and we are going to a stable market where we have 3 to 5% appreciation, and it's still up, way up. I'm probably going to do 15% this year, but these people are not getting the right pricing advice, or they're being greedy.
When you're saying the inventory is up, does that mean that it's because houses are longer on the market, or more people are listing their homes, or are less people purchasing homes?
Okay.
Or is it a combination of all of them?
Actually, new listings were up slightly.
Okay.
Number of contracts down a little bit.
Okay.
And so
that means less buyers.
There's still a lot of sellers out there willing to sell. They're listed, but they're just too high. So they're going to take a while to either get adjusted, or they're going to hang on to this pie in the sky price, which isn't going to happen. And so there's people out there
they're
that want to buy.
looking at the realtor going, "Where's the 20 buyers you told me we have on the weekend?"
So this is what you got to watch, and this is why you got to watch the market, and this is why I have a job, and you can't just look this up on an app. You got to interpret the market. You're selling a 4-3 with a gorgeous pool. You just spent $80,000 last year renovating the whole house. How do you compare to everybody around you? What price should you be? This is what's really important about picking that market position. And then other things like making sure you're compensating the other agent correctly, not trying to pay them nothing. Making sure you got access to the property. Don't say you can only show it on Sunday between 2 and 4. Things like that. And believe, I come across this, Bruce. I come across these things.
Oh, I'm sure
you do. I come across houses that look like they haven't had the rummage sale yet, or look like there's a hoarder living there, and they're still – I saw some pictures the other day on a listing I was checking out for a market analysis. It looked like a crime scene.
Oh,
the property looked like a crime scene, like it had been robbed, and there'd been a dead body on the floor. The only thing missing was the chalk outline, and that was the pictures in MLS. So obviously, and the price was high.
Can you imagine?
What it is we've got a lot of people in the business that have not been in very long, and before you could sneeze and sell a house. Now this is what it's important, is having a consultant, a real estate planner like myself, helping you get your house on the market, seeing what you need to do to get the most money. I usually have my sellers spend maybe 1 or 2% of the price of the home in staging, prepping, and usually that's just decluttering and fresh paint and some sod in the front yard and some flowers and fresh mulch, cleaning this and that up, getting rid of stuff, have a garage sale, have Dave Lowe come over for an estate sale if you got too much stuff. All those things usually don't cost more than 1 or 2%. But now what we're going to see the rise of, this is the rise. This is what comes in a little bit like a normal market. We're going to see the professional. We're going to see the guy that was a realtor, couldn't make it for 2 years, and they're going to be a professional stager.
It's interesting because
they're going to want to rent your furniture.
What did we see on Facebook for the last 2 years is real estate agents going, I just got my buyer $25,000 more than ask price.
Or my seller, yeah.
Or my seller,
yeah.
my seller.
Yeah.
That, right? They didn't get them anything.
Yeah.
The market
Yeah.
bared that.
Yep.
And so I think you're going to start seeing real estate agents and mortgage lenders, for that matter, that thought they were good because the market was good really see what it's like to operate, and can you operate and provide that level of service and find the buyers and the sellers in a slower market. And the market has slowed a little bit. Like our new leads here were down about 12%. Now, nationally, I think if you look it up nationally, I think it's down 30%. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, the number of mortgage applications, is that what you mean?
Number of mortgage applications, correct. So but you have to remember, if you take into consideration refinances in that, I mean, who's refinancing?
People are still
now?
buying. Yeah, our
People
sales
are buying.
traffic, because in the bubble, Bruce, in 2008, 9, 10, there was like 1,000 sales a month, 1,500 sales a month. There was nothing. I mean, nobody could move. Everybody was stuck, or they were going broke, or they had late mortgage payments. They couldn't get another mortgage. All those things that came out. Nationwide, inventory's up slightly around the rest of the country. Now, here is what I want to show you on pricing. Actually,
before we go too far, we're 6 minutes into this, and we haven't given out phone numbers.
All right, 407-352-8118.
It's nice that you remembered.
Had to think about it for a second.
I've had that.
352-8118 or lovelandreport.com.
Yep, or the loanarranger, Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. Chances are somebody that you know I've helped with a mortgage, if not you yourself or a family member. You can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 for the loanarranger. 33 years in the business, one of the top producing loan officers, not only locally, but in the country. I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you. There have been other people before you, and there will be people after you. And I am delighted to help you and your family.
Okay. Big thing I want to talk about, where are the rates at? How are we sitting?
Well, you're starting to pop up. We had a pretty decent week this week, okay? Like we didn't see rate hikes this week. We actually saw some slight improvements. There were some good days on the market. There was no really bad days and there was no really good days. So things maintained pretty level. But here's what we got coming. We know we got a Fed increase. They've been telling everybody 3/4 to 1, but alluding to a full 100 basis points or 1 point, right? Now they're pulling back on that. And what happens, though, Cleve, is that creates uncertainty in the market. So typically, when there's uncertainty, what do you think they do? They hedge up.
They hedge up, yeah.
Right? They hedge up. So they're like, we don't know what they're going to do, so we're going to assume 1, and if it doesn't go 1, then
rates will come down a little.
Then they'll come down a little bit.
But we're still in the mid 5s.
No, you're in the
6%?
You're in the high 5s and 6s. I mean, right now I'm doing a ton of Hometown Heroes. Taught a class on Wednesday night, phenomenal class for realtors and general public, but even Hometown Heroes went from 5 3/4 to 6.5 for Hometown Heroes. So the interest rates right now are going to run between the high 5s and the low 6s. Doesn't mean you're not even in the 7s if you have a lower credit score. I saw a couple of clients that were in the low 700s. Low 700 credit scores that are pushing 7% interest rate.
Oh, wow.
So it's there. We are seeing it. I've been telling everybody that by the end of this year, we would see 7.5%. And it looks like we're probably going to see it well before the end of the year.
Yep.
So, I mean, just be prepared. So, you know what? That kind of scares a lot of people out there. But you know what?
Payment doesn't really go up that much.
But here's what it does. Listen, Cleve, we are about giving you the real news. This is not a sales pitch. There's nothing for Cleve and I to sell. We have ourselves. We want you to do business with us. We want to help you. But we're here to give you honest, accurate information. And here's the honest, accurate information. Yes, interest rates are up. You will refinance. Anybody I'm doing a loan for right now, I'm going to refi you when rates drop back down to the 4s. The question is when will that happen?
Probably a year.
Some people,
year and a half.
I'll tell you, I've talked to some economists like Barry Habib, and he thinks that there is a possibility that come after the midterms, we could see a break. Now, does that mean they'll be in the 4s? No, but he thinks that they'll come down a little bit. But here's the thing. They're not going to come down enough to refinance. They're not going to make a significant difference. What's going to happen is what happens in the midterms, and after the midterms, where do we go from there? But there will be 4s again in your future. But it might be 6 months. It might be 3 years. There's no telling. But here's the thing. even Cleve, if houses only go up by 3%, 3%,
Yep.
and you put down 3.5% on a mortgage
Yeah.
for like an FHA loan,
Yep.
that return on your investment is 86% per
the
year.
thing rising too is rents, especially if you're a first-time buyer.
Rents are going up. It's funny. I looked at my Lake Mary property, and I have these wonderful ladies in my Lake Mary property, and they came to me. I looked at it and went, how much am I charging you for rent? They said, well, $2,050. I'm like, that is a $3,000 home. And here I'm telling all my clients who are landlords to raise their rent, and I haven't raised it. She goes, I know, I've been waiting for that phone call. And I'm like, so I told my wife, I said, I could jack that up by $800 right now and still be under the market, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to raise it $500. Then I'm going to probably raise it another $300. I'll probably do it in 6-month increments. But I mean, come on, Lake Mary on a 4.3 with a pool for $2,000. I'm a fool, but you know what? I got good tenants. I'm going to raise the rent. I want all of you to realize that you need to not be a tenant. You need to be a homeowner. I've got rental properties. Cleve has rental properties, but our goal is to help you achieve the success that we've had in real estate, because it's been great for us.
What's different about this market too is you've got people selling their homes. They dropped down to a 15 year, so they built equity quicker. You got people still coming in from the other parts of the state, and they just sold an $800,000 home, which is equivalent to a $500,000 home here. We've got all these different parts of the market that come into effect. So I don't see our sales slowing to too much. I think we'll go back to a pace we had in 2018, 2019.
Yeah, but I don't think that pace is going to. I think we'll see 5%. You think maybe 15%. You said 15 earlier. Is that right?
On appreciation?
Appreciation.
I think for this year we'll finish up around 15%. And actually, I've got the numbers on.
I think
on
that if here's my prediction. I think that 15% is very realistic. And if you have a 15% appreciation and our median sales price right now is $390, you do the math and tell me what it's going to be in 5 years. It's $640. You're going to be $639,000 for a median sales price at a 15% appreciation.
Yeah, we're up 22% over last year on the median price and 18% on the average.
So listen, don't get caught up on the interest rate. None of us like the interest rates right now, but get caught up on the house price. So don't miss out. Don't sit on the sidelines. Your cost of waiting is far greater than having to pay for a refinance a year or 2 years down the road. Forget the refinance. You come to me, all my repeat clients get my employee discount anyway. So get into the house, stop paying your landlord. There's zero appreciation when you're a renter. So get out of renting. Call me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 to get pre-approved. I've got every loan program you could possibly think of. Go to my website, save it in your phone, webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com. I'm the Loan Arranger, and I'm here to help you. You can reach Cleve at
407-352-8118. Be happy to help you out. And also, landlords, you're having trouble getting rent, getting late fees, call me. I can help you with that.
Yep. So, and, Cleve, you've been in real estate here for 25 years, right?
30
years.
On the radio.
On the radio for 25. Longest lasting radio talk show, real estate show in the history of the planet, but been in the real estate business for 30 years. Okay. When we come back from the next break, I want to talk a little bit about our journey, the things we did well and the things we didn't do well.
All right.
So that our clients know that we made mistakes and where the mistakes lied. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the most listened to real estate radio show in Central Florida. I am Cleve Loveland of Loveland Properties, alongside Bruce Woodburn of CrossCountry Mortgage, the Loan Arranger. Got a couple of listings for you this week I want to talk to you about.
Let's hear about them.
Great prices, Bruce. This is below $300. which is unheard of just about.
Well,
now one of them
there's your first-time home buyer right there.
Great community, Lake of the Woods, right in Fern Park, Casselberry area.
I love that area.
And this is what's neat about this unit. It's a single story. A lot of townhomes are two stories. So if you're a little older, don't want to mess with stairs, you want a single story kind of open floor plan. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square feet for $299,900. In this neighborhood, they take care of everything for you. Great community, great location.
How much are the HOAs in there?
It is. Now you're going to ask me that, and I don't have that sheet. Do I have that sheet?
That's okay. You can call Cleve at 407-352-8118.
Yeah, they're about $300, I want to say. And then I've got a starter home in Orlando, right on the edge of Ocoee, and this is right by Clarkona, Ocoee, and Hiawassee Road. $227,000 for this house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,000 square feet, tile floors. Needs a little bit of updating. Kitchen's okay. I got a guy that can do a kitchen probably for $5,000 in this house. Big yard. You've got over a 1/4 acre lot, and
that's a nice size lot,
and no HOA for $228, $227.
If you're listening to this show right now, and
that's a great rental, that would rent for about almost $1,900.
Listen, if you no kidding, where is that? Hiawassee.
Are you allowed to buy another one? Haven't you bought like 3?
Well, my wife said no more. She says I got to get these other 2 on the market first. Uh-huh. So, but listen, if you're you're renting, and you want to buy a home, what a perfect opportunity for you to get into a home. Listen, my FHA loans have no credit score requirements. I don't limit your credit. If you qualify, you get a loan. So call me at 407-250-9144. If you know somebody that's renting, help them.
Yeah.
Just send them my number, please. Go to webringyouhome.com. Those are 2 great starter
Get your
homes.
foot, it's not going to be your dream home.
No.
But get a house, and then we can leapfrog.
Right.
A couple years later.
This will turn into a rental for you.
It will. And the cash flow will still be great.
Think about this. You buy that home right now. Either one of those homes are a great opportunity for investment. You buy that home right now. You live in it for just 2 years. You save 5% for your next home. I'll have you owning 2 homes within the next 24 months. You'll have this one as your rental eventually, and you'll be in another one. Now, isn't that a great way to jumpstart your career and your retirement that will give you generational income? That's the way you do it. 407-250-9144 or Cleve Loveland can be reached at 407-352-8118. So, Cleve, as promised, and we don't have a lot of time. We only got a minute and a half on this.
Okay.
We like to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we only got a couple minutes, so I want to share the 2 biggest mistakes I made in my career when it comes to my investments in real estate. Number 1, 2010, coming out of the recession, right? Houses were as cheap as dirt.
Yep.
They were giving them away.
Yep.
Banks were throwing them at you.
Yep.
I didn't buy any.
Yep.
Okay?
I bought mine in 6 and 7.
Okay, that was the worst time to buy, but nobody knew that.
Yep.
But by 2013, 2014, you were even again, right?
Almost, yeah, almost.
Yeah,
One of them I wasn't that's because I did 100% no money down to find an investor
Which
loan.
you can't do anymore, right? So thank God we don't do. My second biggest.
I look like a genius now. They're both worth double what I paid for them.
Right.
So.
My second biggest mistake, 2018, sold 3 properties.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Well, I think there's an approach, and it's different for everybody. Some people, if you're in your 50s, you may not be able to leapfrog into 4 more homes, but we had somebody that sold their big McMansion last year. Kids are going off to college and downsizing. Sold their big McMansion, got a great price, and bought 3 rentals out of that.
Right.
Or, excuse me, they bought a primary,
and
downsized,
then 2 rentals.
And then 2 rentals.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, they've got massive cash flow. Now, their appreciation, I would say, and I'd argue with you on this, their appreciation on those 3 homes is more than what that big house they sold for $700 would be.
Possibly.
And no, it is, because I checked it. Because that I checked the neighborhood they're in. And the neighborhood they're in is slowed down because that's a luxury home, but they're 3 starter homes. The median home price has jumped up more than the average price.
Absolutely.
So that's what I watch for. But this is what is important. But it's different for every person. I sit down with people and tell them, what's going on and how we plan for your next step in real estate.
Give us your number real quick.
407-352-8118 for the voice of real estate, Cleve Loveland.
Or the loanarranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Welcome back to the Loveland Report and the LoanArranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn, giving you all of your real estate news. No fake news here. Bruce, I want to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
One thing we've been doing, this is why you hire a realtor. Most people hire a realtor. Sometimes it's for the paperwork. It's for, ease. They're not local, whatever it might be. But 60% of the time, national stat, 60% of the time, they want somebody to negotiate for them.
Yes.
And we've been negotiating a lot of closing costs for our buyers, actually, in the past 2 months. It's been happening. So we're getting back to the point
sellers are willing to pay.
They've been on the market for 45 days, and we bring them a full price offer. But wait, we asked for $8,000 or $9,000 in closing costs. And the seller's like, what? I'm like, well, you got any other offers that are better? And they go, no. Okay, sign our offer. And so it's happening. Can the buyers use that money to maybe pay a discount point and get the rate down a little bit?
Absolutely. So and you're going to see that today more than ever before in the history of my 33 years in this business, a lot of loans are not available without points.
Yeah.
Where it used to be here's your zero origination. Here's your 1 point origination, and here's your one with the 1 point origination credit. Credits, non-existent.
Well, you explained that very well. You said they're not going to do that because Wall Street knows you're going to refi it within a couple of years.
That's right. So the market knows that rates will come down.
So they want a little piece of the action up front.
Well, no, they know that the loan won't pay off over a long period of time.
Yep.
I mean, it won't pay out over a long period of time.
Yeah.
It will pay off, and therefore their interest will be reduced, so they're going to collect the interest up front.
Yep.
That's why everybody's paying points. But what happens is the federal government, back when QM came into play at 2010, and said that lenders could only charge a maximum of 3% for all costs.
Total, yeah.
Total. So if you just to get a loan costs you 2 points right now, how do you buy it down even more?
Yeah.
Right? Can you buy it down to 3 or 4? No, because most lenders are going to have a processing fee and a doc prep fee, and you may have tax service fees and things like that have to be charged. So you're already over. So there is a way to do it. And in the past, we would have the realtor say, hey, pay, 2.5% towards closing costs.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Of the sales
Nowadays, you would say the seller has agreed to pay 3% towards closing costs, but 2% of that is to be used towards points or origination fee. And if it's worded that way, then you can go above the 3% rule because the seller's paying it. But if it's not, the verbiage is not in there and it just says seller agrees to pay closing costs up to this amount, you cannot use it to exceed that 3%
So you could ask
rule.
for 2% of the price towards closing costs and 2% towards discount points.
You could.
Okay, all right.
You absolutely
so
could.
we can get over 4% of our price. Okay.
You could.
Did not know that.
You absolutely
That's
could.
why I hang out with smart people like you.
But that's the only way to do that because otherwise you're capped at the 3% rule.
Another thing really important, I think, go into Fast Track real quick. Tell people, because it's still important. I'm getting offers, and I still don't have a darn I don't even send a pre-qual letter.
It's amazing how many people are willing to, and realtors too, willing to have a client sit in their car, drive them around, look at property, and not have a full-blown loan approval. So my Fast Track is a giant leap beyond a pre-approval letter. Pre-approval, I've pulled credit, I've seen your W-2s, I've seen your pay stubs, and I know where the money's coming from for cash to close. A Fast Track is a full underwritten approval, meaning I've taken that loan because, pre-approval letters are written by loan officers, right? Like that's like the fox watching the chicken house, right? So they're written by loan officers, but a Fast Track is underwritten and approved by an underwriter. So that's who's ultimately going to be underwriting every loan that anybody gets anyway. So rather than waiting till you have made an offer on a house, ordered the appraisal, ordered and paid for the home inspection, then the loan officer sends it to processing, then the loan officer's processor sends it to underwriting. Hell, could be 3 weeks after you're in contract. Why not have that done in advance of even finding the home?
Yeah.
Then you find the home, you order the appraisal, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Wait for title to come in.
Yep.
It takes me about 2 days for title. You're good to go. If you have questions and you'd like to entertain having the strongest possible offer to present to a seller, you call me about Fast Track, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. It's the best way to approach a new loan. Now, I want to talk about Hometown Heroes. Hometown Heroes up to $25,000 in government down payment assistance for heroes, police, firemen, teachers, educators, anybody that's certified, healthcare workers, certified in those industries.
What about retired law enforcement?
You have to be active full-time in that. Right. Yeah. Only a veteran.
Got a pension. Okay.
Yeah. Not even a pension.
Okay.
If you are not active in that field right now full-time.
But a veteran can do it.
A veteran is the only one that's exempt, and a veteran doesn't have to be a first-time home buyer. Everybody else does.
Yeah.
Okay. But up to $25,000. I taught a class this Wednesday. Blew it out. I mean, I'm helping a lot of folks. They're getting over the higher interest rate because they see the benefit in getting into the home now. Now, it has advantages and disadvantages over other down payment assistance programs. It allows you to make 150% of the average median income, which the 150% gives me about $124,000 in income, where if you look at, like Orange and Seminole County, you can only make like $64,000 in the whole household. So it allows you to stretch that. Now, the downside to Hometown Heroes is the money does have to be paid back, but not until you finish paying the mortgage off, sell the house, rent the house, or it's no longer a primary residence.
Yep.
So some people go, I don't know if I want to do that because then I got to pay $25,000 back. Okay, let's just do the math. So I put the math in a chart. If you buy a home for $375,
yep,
and it goes up by 5%,
yep,
you have had enough to pay the $25,000 off in about a year to a year and a half.
Yeah.
So,
but you're in the home.
You're in the home, and the home went up more than the $25,000. Yep. So by 5 years.
Well, it's kind of like we talk about leapfrog to buy a house. Don't empty your savings of 25% to cash flow on an investment property. Buy your primary.
Right.
1 to 2 years afterwards, we buy another primary, rent the old one. At 1 to 2 more years, buy another primary. You've got 2 rentals. You've got 3 houses worth over $1 million that your tenants are helping pay off 2 of them.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, in our Leapfrog program, which I think we're gonna do a home buyer class, and we're gonna entertain Leapfrog in it on August the 17th from 6 to 7:30 at Miller's Ale House. Go to webringyouhome.com. Cleve and I will show you how to do it, how to make them and maximize the amount of properties you can purchase, make the most possible money on it, retire with generational wealth. And when I talk about listen, how much are we charging to get in this? $1,500, $2,000 to get in this class?
Isn't it like the $10 for the food or $15, $20?
Yeah, right. So listen, most of these seminars you guys go to that you get caught up in, and you buy the CDs and the 8-track tapes in, and you buy this fancy booklet that tells you how to buy real estate. Cleve and I are going to do it for free.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to show you how to do that for free. It is listen, I'm a 10th grade dropout. I did this. I created this program, and it works famously. And I'll show you how every one of those properties will be paid off within 20 years. And you'll have $25,000 a month in income coming in. It's a no-brainer, you guys. It's a no-brainer. Other people are putting your 401k money in, your IRA money. This is your equity. This is your retirement. And then it pays you dividends. So I'll show you how I did it. I'll show you the mistakes I made. I'll show you the successes I had and how to implement the program immediately. You just call me at 407-250-9144, or you can call Cleve
407-352-8118, or go to lovelandreport.com.
Yeah, or register for the class right away. There's only about 35 seats in this room. Small class. But Cleve and I like the smaller venues. We can really get down and dirty and personal. Don't bring the kids to this, please. Get a babysitter, because this is going to be learning this program. I prefer to have no distractions. There's going to be food and drink involved. And we really want you to only register for this class if you're serious about either buying your first home or investing in multiple properties. It's not designed for people that just, hey, I just want to come to Ale House and eat some spaghetti and have a cold beer.
No, I mean, it's just you and we've made lots of mistakes. I've owned investment property for 27 years, and my I say the biggest mistake, I'll give away a little bit. I sold my first 3.
Right.
I sold the first 3 homes I had. I should have kept them longer, and or 1031 them for bigger, better homes. I had,
For
you know, I
sure.
had a couple dogs that had a lot of repairs. Appreciation
I
wasn't
did
great in
too.
that neighborhood, and I should have just 1031 them to different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So.
I should have. You're right. And 1031 exchange, we can talk about that if you have any questions about it. We can talk about construction perm lending, rehab loans, reverse mortgages for the elderly couples. I had a realtor call me today. She says, I want to learn about your reverse mortgages for 55 plus. Well, first of all, you can't get a reverse mortgage until you're about 65.
Yeah, I thought it was 62. 62?
It might be 62 and a half,
All
right?
right.
Okay, but it's and there are, you can do it, but
So if you are 55, you need a sugar daddy or a sugar mama.
well, here's the thing. When you're only 62 and a half, it makes it very challenging to do it because the risk factor is more, and they are based on a reverse of risk.
Yeah.
So the older you are, the more attractive they are.
Yep.
Now listen, here's the deal with the reverse mortgages. For all of you that are hearing me out there, the Loan Arranger, 33 years doing mortgages. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not really big on reverse mortgages. In other words, most of the people I talk to, I don't think it's the right thing. I think a lot of you are sold a bill of goods by fancy, good-looking, retired movie stars that are selling the product, and they say that all of the things are, all the old stuff is not true. Here's the thing about a reverse mortgage. I do believe that most people that want it shouldn't have it, but there is a small segment of the market that I think should have it. So, for instance, if you really are struggling to live today based on your cost of living and you have a ton of equity, but you really have no means of refinancing it and pulling equity out of it, it might be the right thing for you to do. But keep in mind, when you die, the bank gets the house.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't. If you got equity.
If you have equity.
If you have equity. Now, it's non-recourse. I know that.
Right.
So, but if you've got equity, your heirs would get the equity. But if your heirs aren't letting you live in their back guest suite, but if you got a reverse mortgage that started out at 300 and when you die it's 450, but the house is worth 650, the kids will split what's left. And let's say the house for some reason was in horrible shape and it was only worth 450. There's no recourse, and they get it back.
Well,
so I did in my financial planning classes that I'm in. I heard a lot about that, but it is that's what you and I do. We figure out what's right for people and help them plan for their next mortgage. I'll help them plan for their next house and what's right for you guys. Also, they can go. I always tell people, go consult with your financial planner and let's
absolutely.
See what's right.
I just think that there are other options, and reverse mortgages are very expensive too. So there may be other options. So if you have a question about it, give me a call. We got a full department, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Register at webringyouhome.com for our class. I'm also doing a realtor class for mortgages and mortgage strategies. So if you're a real estate agent and you don't know mortgages, FHA, VA, USDA, down payment assistance, PMI, then I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach that class on Friday, August 5th. And that, I believe, is going to be in Claremont at the Outback Steakhouse at 11:30. So register at webringyouhome.com or call or text 407-250-9144.
All right. And how much time we got?
We got about 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
A minute.
Cleve, Loveland, 407-352-8118. One thing I'm getting done right now, Bruce.
What's that?
I'm getting sellers to take contracts contingent on a closing.
Isn't that amazing?
That's unheard of, yes, in the last 2 years.
I'm getting contracts contingent on closing. I'm getting seller paid closing costs. Nobody's paying over ask price that I have in my pipeline right now that wasn't already in contract. And they're being a lot more flexible. And I think they better be.
And that's the thing. They
which
should
gives
be
the first-time home buyer an opportunity.
Well, let's talk more about that in the final segment.
Yep. So just stay tuned. We'll be back for our final segment of the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger radio show with Cleve Loveland and Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. If you have questions for Cleve, he can be reached at 407-352-8118 or the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Stay tuned, please.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Loveland Report Loan Arranger Show. Thank you for listening today and getting all your real estate and
Lots
mortgage
of fun
news.
today, huh?
Well, that's good stuff. Well, I think let's end it on a high note. Let's talk about all the things we're getting for buyers right now.
Okay.
You're seeing closing costs.
Yep.
You're seeing points paid.
Yep. I've got in Hometown Heroes. We're getting sellers
Down
to pay
payment
closing.
assistance. That's
down
awesome.
payment assistance. I think sellers are willing to negotiate. I think that there's a lot of opportunities.
Well, smart sellers.
Smart sellers.
I'm seeing like the normal, like the same number of homes. Like if 2 homes a week are selling around you, like within a couple blocks within your subdivision, 2 homes a week are selling. There's still 2 homes a week selling, but there's 12 guys with their prices too high.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going to be smart about this market. And this is what, if you need any, if you know somebody having trouble, have them call me. Believe it or not, even in our strong market we've had, 10% of the market does not sell every month. They give up or they try again with somebody else. Have them just call me the first time, 407-352-8118. And I'm also getting, Bruce, I'm getting homes, contingent on the closing. Before everybody had to get a lease back. I can still get a lease back if we need it. But I can get your contract accepted contingent on a closing. Right. And that's, we're kind of almost moving back towards normal. And then the interest rates straighten themselves out after the election sometime.
Interest rates settled a little bit. They're obviously a little higher than people would like. But I'm going to tell you something. If you look at the history of real estate and the history of mortgages, a 7.5% rate is a 50-year average. So we're still under the 50-year average. So, but people are used to those 3s and 4s, Cleve, and those are gone. Those are gone, and I don't think they're going to come back anytime soon, at least not for many, many years to come. We could see the 4s again, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. I think that's possible.
Yep.
But look at interest rates are up, but it's just like gas. When gas hit 5, everybody had their arms up, and then it drops to $4.44, and then you're like, wow. This is great.
Drop the frog in the boiling water, he jumps out. Turn the water up slowly, they just cook.
That's right.
And they die. But you got to be in the game, and you got to own real estate. It's the best way to start your building of your wealth for your family and work on your retirement.
Yeah, so don't step over a dollar to pick up a penny. Help encourage people. Cleve had 2 great listings he talked about, under $300,000 today. If you know somebody that's renting, stop what you're doing and let's help them out together. Let's help them together. We can get them into a starter house. This is not the Taj Mahal. This is a starter home, but it prevents you from being a renter, which does absolutely nothing for you. If you'd like to get into one of Cleve and I's classes, I'm teaching a homebuyer class on August 17th at Miller's Ale House from 6 to 7:30. Go to webringyouhome.com to register. If you are a real estate agent, listen, I'm going to tell you something. For a lot of you real estate agents out there, you thought you were a hero in the last couple of years, but now you're going to wonder where your next lead's going to come from. Let me help you show you how to be a better servant to your client. I'm going to be teaching a real estate class to understand all the different mortgage aspects so that you can speak intelligently when you have a buyer. If you know a realtor, get them into that class. And that is going to be on Friday the 5th, and that's going to be at Clearmont at the Outback Steakhouse. Go to webringyouhome.com. You can text me for any class or Cleve for any class that we have. My text number or phone number is 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Cleve is one of the most talented real estate agents in the Central Florida market. I'm going to tell you something. He's a rock star. His buyer's agents are unbelievable. I think your buyer's agents are better buyer's agents than you.
They are.
I think you're a great listing agent.
I
think that Nanette, I had a client last week may have been the week before last, was with another agent, liked the other agent, but didn't feel like they were getting as far. We flipped them to Nanette. Nanette negotiates closing costs, then comes back and negotiates more closing costs. Then the house didn't appraise. She renegotiates the price of the house. I mean, this woman is on fire.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is pick up the phone and call Cleve at
407-352-8118. And remember, one of those rooftops on your street, my family's probably helped sell it in the past 50 years. Give us a call. We'd be happy to help you. Or go to lovelandreport.com.
Yep, or the Loan Arranger, 33 years in the business, 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Have a great weekend. God bless each one of you. And don't forget to listen to my show, The Loan Arranger Show, tomorrow at 11 o'clock. See you then.